You pick up the phone, right? And it's your grandson.
Oh, with this scenario, yeah.
He's crying. He's totally frantic, saying he's been in this terrible car accident.
Right, and he needs money.
Exactly.
Right.
He's begging you to wire money right now to pay for damages so the police don't arrest him. And, I mean, the kicker here, it is his exact voice.
Every single inflection.
Right. Every breath,
Right.
every terrified stutter. But he is not on the phone. You are talking to, like, a mathematically perfect artificial intelligence clone. Welcome to the deep dive. We are taking a hard look at the current state of digital safety.
It is, it's an incredibly sobering reality we're waking up to, honestly. We've moved so far past the days of, Nigerian prince emails with bad spelling.
Way past. I mean, light years past. And to ground this conversation, we're pulling from a May 2026 article by Diego McCastrillin. It's presented by Rhino Cybersecurity, titled 2026 Cybersecurity Tips for Seniors.
Right, which is a fantastic resource.
It really is. Because when you look at the broader landscape of internet security right now, it's just terrifying.
Oh, absolutely.
Just reading the headlines they cite in this piece gave me chills. You've got government agencies like CISA sounding alarms over hackers exploiting platforms used to build AI.
Yeah, the Langflow exploits.
Exactly. And you have nation-state hackers, right? Chinese hackers launching massive attacks on reporters, North Korean operatives using smart bots to steal crypto.
It's constant.
And that doesn't even touch on the devastating new malware wiping out systems, things like Fragnesia.
Right, the Linux flaw.
Yeah, a flaw in the very foundation of an operating system that grants total control. Or this Xi chatbot trap hiding malicious Python code inside chat apps. I mean, it feels like an unwinnable war.
I get that. Those high-level infrastructural attacks, they absolutely dominate the news cycle.
Because they're terrifying.
They are. When you hear about government networks being breached, the natural human reaction is just profound helplessness.
Right, like what am I supposed to do against North Korea?
Exactly. But what we need to focus on is that the reality on the ground for you, for the everyday listener, is fundamentally different. Well, while those massive cyber warfare campaigns are happening in the background, everyday people are facing a completely different class of threat. Scammers are increasingly targeting older adults specifically.
Because they think they're easy targets.
Right. They operate under this deeply flawed assumption that older adults won't understand the technology.
Which is exactly why we are tearing apart this guide today, because the mission here is to prove that assumption wrong.
Absolutely.
You do not have to be a victim, and you don't need like a master's degree in computer science to protect yourself.
Not at all.
Our goal today is to hand you an actionable digital playbook. Zero confusing tech jargon. Just the practical mechanics of how to build an impenetrable fortress around your life.
And your hard-earned savings, honestly. We build that fortress by focusing on the one vulnerability the technology literally cannot patch. Human psychology. Because, that is where these criminals do all their real damage.
Let's jump right back into that opening scenario, because Rhino Cybersecurity calls this the lying mirror.
The AI voice cloning.
Yeah, AI voice cloning, it is easily the most chilling concept in this entire stack of research.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. This feels like a digital version of the old Body Snatcher movies.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Like the alien looks and sounds exactly like the person you love, but you have this creeping realization that it is an imposter.
An imposter wearing their face.
Yeah.
Or in this case, their voice.
Exactly. Only now it's wearing their voice.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, how is this actually happening? Where are these scammers getting the audio to clone our families in the first place?
Well, that is the most unsettling part. We just give it to them.
Wait, voluntarily?
Voluntarily. Think about how much audio of your family exists on the open internet right now.
I mean, a lot, I guess.
Right. A 3-second clip from a public TikTok video.
Wow, just 3 seconds.
That's really all it takes. A voicemail greeting, a video on Facebook of everyone singing happy birthday. That is all the raw data a modern machine learning algorithm needs.
That is insane.
It is. The software just analyzes the unique frequencies, the pitch, the timbre of the voice, and it creates a mathematical model.
So they just type whatever they want.
Yep. The scammer just types a script into a text box, and the software reads it back in your grandson's voice in real time.
Okay, so if the AI is so good, if it's a perfect mathematical clone, how on earth are we supposed to spot the fake when we are in a state of sheer panic?
It's hard. But understanding how the AI actually generates that speech is your key to defeating it.
Okay, I'm listening.
The software can perfectly mimic the tone and pitch, but it severely struggles with the organic, biological flow of conversation.
Because it's not alive.
Right. It lacks a human respiratory system. When we speak, especially when we are panicked, we gasp for air. Our pacing becomes erratic. We stumble over consonants.
Well, the AI doesn't do that.
No.
Yeah.
The AI is generating this audio on the fly, calculating the probability of the next word. It's machine computing, not a human experiencing an emotion.
So you have to listen very closely for, what, strange pauses?
Exactly. Strange, robotic pauses, an unnaturally flat cadence, or words that just sort of blur together strangely.
Okay, so I'm not really listening to the sound of the voice itself. I'm listening to the empty space between the words. I'm listening for the machine thinking.
I love that. That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it. You are listening for the calculation.
But honestly, trying to play audio detective during a moment of profound emotional distress?
Oh, it's an incredibly tall order.
Yeah.
Your body is just flooded with adrenaline.
Right, my brain is going to hear my kid crying and completely shut off my critical thinking.
Which is exactly why the guide recommends a proactive defense strategy. You do this long before the phone ever rings.
Okay, what's the strategy?
Creating what they call a family firewall.
The family firewall. I really like the visual of that. How do we actually build one?
It's simple. You sit down with your family and you establish a secret code word.
Just a word.
A random word or a short, nonsensical phrase that only your close inner circle knows.
So not like the dog's name.
Definitely not. It shouldn't be the name of a pet or the street you grew up on. Scammers can easily scrape that from your social media history.
Right, they already have my Facebook data.
Exactly. So if you ever receive a sudden, frantic distress call from a loved one demanding money or immediate action, your reflex must be to ask for the code word.
And if they don't know it?
If they hesitate, try to change the subject, or just don't know it, you hang up the phone immediately.
Because at that point, the illusion is totally broken.
You know for a fact you aren't talking to your grandson. You're talking to a ghost in the machine.
Man, that is wild. And what's crazy is that this concept of impersonating our inner circle, it doesn't just stop at audio, does it?
No, not at all.
Because scammers are using the exact same psychological exploit visually through fake friend requests on social media.
Right. Social impersonation is rampant right now because it completely bypasses our natural skepticism.
I mean, if a total stranger messages you asking for money, your guard is instantly up.
You ignore it. Delete. Scammers know this. So they clone the Facebook profile of someone you already trust.
Like a lifelong friend or a former coworker.
Exactly. They steal the profile picture, they copy the bio, and they send you a brand new friend request.
And because we are polite social creatures, we don't assume malice.
We just think, oh, Aunt Shirley forgot her password again and had to make a new account.
Right. I've accepted those requests before, and according to the guide, once they are on your friend list, the manipulation starts immediately.
But not with the demand for cash.
No, it starts with excessive flattery, which is so creepy.
It's a deliberate tactical maneuver. They shower you with compliments just to drop your defenses and create a false sense of intimacy.
Right. And once you're comfortable,
Then they pivot. They start prying into your daily schedule, asking about family details, or subtly inquiring about your finances.
they're gathering intel.
Exactly. So the strict rule here is gatekeeping. If a lifelong friend suddenly sends you a new friend request, verify it outside of the platform.
Just call them.
Call their actual phone number and say, hey, did you just set up a new profile?
And I bet almost invariably their real account was just cloned.
9 times out of 10.
Right.
And a broader rule, just decline requests from strangers entirely. A private circle is a secure circle.
Okay, so let's say I've done all of this. I have my family code word locked down. I've purged my social media of strangers, and I've verified all my friends. My inner circle is a fortress.
Perfect.
But scammers know that too. If they can't exploit the trust I have in my family, they pivot to exploiting the trust I have in authority.
Right. Which brings us into the realm of institutional impersonation.
Specifically, phishing and smishing attacks.
Yes.
We see phishing emails all the time. They are those messages claiming to be from the Postal Service, a major courier, or, the Canada Revenue Agency.
Trying to panic you?
Exactly. Claiming a package couldn't be delivered, or you have a pending tax fine that will double if you don't click a link within 24 hours.
And smishing is simply the text message equivalent.
Right. You get a text saying your bank account has seen unusual movement and is temporarily blocked. But here is my issue with this.
Go ahead.
Last week, I was actually expecting a birthday gift to be delivered for my niece. If I get a text saying a package is delayed, my context perfectly matches their lie.
Right. The timing just lines
Yeah,
up.
the panic isn't artificial, it's real. It's like someone slipping a terrifying legal notice under your front door. Your visceral instinct is to pick up the paper and immediately call the number printed on it to clear your name. How do I fight that instinct?
Well, your reaction is entirely valid.
It is.
Yeah, that instinct just means you are a responsible adult trying to manage your life.
Yeah.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at the underlying mechanics of how these attacks succeed.
Okay, break it down for me.
They rely entirely on triggering what psychologists call an amygdala hijack.
An amygdala hijack.
Yes, they want to spike your fear or anxiety so intensely that your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for logic and critical thinking, literally shuts down.
Oh.
They need you to act on that raw, visceral instinct before your logical brain turns back on.
So the goal isn't to stop feeling the panic. The goal is to intercept the action I take because of the panic.
Exactly.
So how do I know if the terrifying legal notice under the door is fake?
By examining the structural details that scammers simply do not have the resources to perfectly fake.
Like what?
With emails, you must train yourself to look past the display name.
Because it might say Canada Revenue Agency in big, bold letters.
Right. But you need to click on the sender's details to reveal the actual email address routing the message. Official organizations use clean, protected domains.
Like ending in .gov or .ca.
Exactly. Or very straightforward corporate names.
So if the actual address is like CRA Urgent Notice 7475 at randomserver.com, the jig is up.
Precisely. And the golden rule for these emails from the source is unconditional.
Never bite.
Never bite. Even if you are 99% sure the email is real, do not click the link inside it.
What do I do instead?
Open a completely fresh browser window. Manually type in the official website of the agency or the delivery company, and log into your account securely.
Ah, I see. Because if there genuinely is a fine or a shipping delay, that notification will be waiting for you in your official dashboard.
Exactly. You verify it on your terms.
But what about the text messages? Because smishing feels far more invasive to me since it bypasses the inbox entirely.
It buzzes right in your pocket.
Yeah, it feels urgent by default. If I'm staring at a text saying my bank account is frozen, my brain is screaming at me to fix it.
It's hard to ignore.
Just deleting the text feels unnatural. What do I actually do to scratch that itch safely?
The defense against smishing is incredibly definitive. Legitimate banks and financial institutions will never, under any circumstances, text you a login link.
Never.
Never. They will not ask you to confirm your password via text. But you are right. The anxiety of a potentially frozen account demands a resolution.
It really does.
That is why the guide offers one of the most effective tactile hacks for this scenario. It's called the flip the card rule.
Walk us through the mechanics of that.
When you receive that alarming text message, delete it from your phone. Do not engage with it digitally at all.
Okay, delete it.
Instead, open your physical wallet, pull out your plastic bank card, flip it over, and dial the official 1-800 number printed on the back.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That number hardwires you to a verified human being inside your actual bank.
Yeah.
You are completely bypassing the digital minefield by returning to a verified physical object.
I love the tactile nature of that. You are literally physically turning your back on the scammer.
Exactly.
Now, phishing and smishing are essentially deception games, right?
Yes.
They're trying to trick you into handing over the keys to the castle your passwords. But here's where it gets really interesting. A whole other category of scams just skips the keys entirely and boldly asks you to hand over the cash.
Right. The direct financial extraction methods.
Yes.
This is specifically where we see aggressive investment and lottery scams targeting older adults.
And the rationale is sickeningly simple, isn't it? Scammers know older adults have spent lifetimes building retirement funds.
There is a pool of capital there.
Exactly. So they blanket the internet with online ads, or they slide into direct messages, offering what they always describe as unique, zero-risk opportunities.
Right, pushing investments in gold, cryptocurrency, foreign real estate.
Or they barrage you with pop-ups claiming you've won an international sweepstakes you don't even remember entering.
We've all seen those.
But the catch is universally the same. They demand an upfront processing fee or an international tax before they can release your massive windfall.
And this is where we have to apply the fundamental laws of finance, which the text refers to as the golden rule of investing.
Which is?
It is a law that simply does not bend. Risk and reward are inherently mathematically linked.
Always.
If an opportunity promises incredibly high returns with zero risk, it is a mathematical impossibility. It is the hallmark of a con artist.
Wow. That's a great rule of thumb.
Furthermore, you must never send an internet stranger money to unlock your own money.
I mean, that just makes logical sense.
Right. If you legitimately won a lottery, the governing body would simply deduct the taxes from the total winnings before issuing the check. They don't need you to wire them a $500 fee.
It sounds so obvious when we break it down in a sterile environment like this.
It does.
But in the heat of the moment, the promise of total financial security or the thrill of a massive windfall creates a massive blind spot.
Absolutely.
And speaking of blind spots, the guide highlights a major physical vulnerability that I think most people are completely oblivious to.
Public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, because you could be doing everything right.
Right.
You're ignoring crypto scams, you're flipping your bank card over, you've memorized your family code word,
Your defenses are up.
but then you decide to take your laptop down to the local cafe. You connect to a network called Free Cafe Wi-Fi, and you log in to check your retirement balance.
At which point you expose your data to an entirely different, incredibly potent class of threat.
I used to think of public Wi-Fi like sitting on a bench in a public park.
A lot of people do.
Everyone is around you, but they are reading their own books, minding their own business. You feel a sense of privacy because you are looking at your own personal screen.
But the mechanism of how public Wi-Fi actually works completely shatters that illusion.
How so?
The park bench analogy is exactly why people fall victim to this. We equate the visual privacy of our physical screen with digital privacy, but we have to look at the tech.
Okay, what's really happening?
A public Wi-Fi router is essentially just a radio tower. When a network does not require a password, when it is unencrypted, the radio signals bouncing between your phone and the router are completely scrambled.
Wait, really?
Yeah?
But-
Your device is literally beaming data through the air in all directions. Anyone sitting 2 tables away with a laptop and free software can essentially tune their antenna to your frequency and pull those packets of data right out of the air.
That completely reframes the danger for me. The guide calls this the invisible microphone rule.
It's a very fitting name.
It made me realize that using unencrypted Wi-Fi isn't like sitting quietly in a park. It's actually like standing in the absolute center of a crowded coffee shop with a megaphone, shouting your social security number and your banking password at the top of your lungs.
That is exactly what it is. It is an open, unencrypted broadcast.
Wow.
And the invisible microphone rule dictates that you must conduct yourself on public Wi-Fi exactly as if you were speaking into a live mic.
So what can I actually do on it?
It is perfectly safe to use those networks to read a public news article, check the local weather forecast, or watch a video.
Because who cares if they see that?
Right. If a hacker intercepts the fact that you are checking to see if it will rain tomorrow, the data is useless to them. But the absolute boundary is sensitive information.
So no banking.
Never log into your bank portal, never input your social security number, and never type in your credit card information to buy something online while you are sitting in an airport terminal or a coffee shop.
Save that for home.
Yes. That data must be reserved strictly for your private, encrypted home network.
So what does this all mean? If we take a step back and synthesize everything we've just unpacked.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is. We are dealing with AI algorithms that can perfectly clone the terrified voice of our grandchildren.
Yeah.
We have scammers meticulously rebuilding the digital lives of our lifelong friends just to steal from us.
It's relentless.
We're dodging fake legal notices sent directly to our pockets, navigating zero-risk financial traps, and avoiding invisible microphones at the local bakery. How does anyone actually survive this minefield day to day without just throwing their smartphone into a river and living off the grid?
It all comes down to recognizing the single underlying thread connecting every single one of these threats.
Which is?
Whether we are talking about a highly sophisticated artificial intelligence voice clone or a cheap text message claiming your package is delayed, they all rely on one specific psychological weapon.
Momentum.
Momentum. Yes. The entire architecture of an online scam is designed to rush you. They must induce panic, terror, or extreme excitement to force an immediate action.
So they don't give you time to think.
Exactly. They need you to click the link, wire the money, or input the password before your prefrontal cortex can process the reality of the situation. Momentum is their primary weapon.
So the moment you refuse to be rushed, the trap shatters.
Precisely. The scam cannot survive without your immediate participation.
That makes so much sense.
The moment you pause to listen for the robotic hesitation in the AI's breath, the moment you hang up the phone and demand the family code word,
Or the moment you refuse to click the link in the text message and instead pull out your physical bank card.
by deliberately breaking their momentum, you starve the scam of oxygen. You instantly regain total control of the situation.
That is so empowering.
It is. And for those who want to deeply internalize these defensive reflexes, the Rhino cybersecurity article heavily recommends seeking out a specific playbook they mention.
Call.
It's titled 7 Things Every Adult Should Know When Navigating Online. It is built to reinforce these actionable, human-centric blueprints.
I definitely need to check that out. It is incredibly empowering to realize that the ultimate defense against all of this doesn't require you to become a cybersecurity expert.
Not at all.
You don't need to know how to reverse engineer a complex piece of malware like that Quasar Linux RET we mentioned, or understand the coding language of a chat app trap. You just need to know how to take a deep breath.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. If you take away only one core principle from this entire conversation, let it be this. In a landscape overflowing with incredibly complex, terrifying cyber threats, your absolute greatest defense is simply slowing down.
Take your time.
Breathe, independently verify who you are talking to, and absolutely refuse to be rushed.
But, as we close out this analysis, there is a much larger, frankly, more philosophical question lurking beneath all this source material.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we have discussed how machine learning can now flawlessly mimic the frantic, crying voice of the people we love most in the world. We've examined how bad actors can seamlessly replicate the digital identities of our oldest friends. Yeah, it's pretty dark. As this technology continues to rapidly accelerate, are we approaching an era where the digital world itself becomes inherently untrustable? Wow. Will the ultimate cybersecurity measure of the future force us to abandon digital convenience altogether? We may be rapidly moving toward a reality where true trust requires a physical handshake, an analog piece of paper, and an in-person conversation.
It really makes you wonder if the era of blind digital trust is already dead. So before you click that next link or answer that unknown number, wait, well, take a breath. See you next time.